good point. That's a good point, my friend. Here's the thing. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna say, so maybe stalling is kind of the only possibility.
Oh, my sweetheart, now go be you, oh, you already are, now go be.
Okay. Hi, welcome to School of PEP. It snowed today in New York, which is awesome. I kind of threw out my lesson plan. And I'm just gonna sing a tiny bit because I think I'm smarter in song form sometimes. It's a really short little. I wake up and find my mind's already on the numbers. Pluto carried me here like a bride. I'm not gonna sing the rest. Just that. I had the whole School of PEP idea to like carry on the lessons that I was learning and when I was writing my last album. And then I just started writing more. It really threw a wrench in my plans. I think as a writer, and I'm curious if other writers feel the same, when inspiration strikes so clearly, you kind of have to put everything else down and start working on it. So I'm shifting, and I think that's really fun. I'm actually like so pumped about it. I'm shifting, and here's what I'm shifting to. The numbers. I wake up and find my mind's already on the numbers. Pluto carried me like a bride. Just keep singing the same line over and over. It's because that's one of the first lines of the new project that really arrived and announced itself and announced this concept and what I'm working on. So, what is it? How did we get here? And where are we going? I think about art and being an artist kind of like I'm a gardener and I'm tending a patch of earth. And sometimes I plant seeds, right? Sometimes I think, you know what, I really want to write about this, or I really want to understand this, or this thing is happening in my life and I really need to wrap my head around it. Plant, plant, plant. Water, water, water. I use the metaphor of the garden because I think that it's my responsibility to let ideas happen and to let them have space and attention, and to give them the water that they need and no more, to give them the earthworms and the nutrients and to protect them. And then when it comes time to harvest them and to remove them from the garden and to trim them if they're gonna fall over in certain ways, or if they're impeding on other people's or on other plants in the garden, they might take over. It's a process of the artist, you know, because an artist has to be editor, has to be creator, has to be attending the work. But you have to know when to do those things. I find myself frustrated often when people start clipping my plans, come to me and say, you should change this, or this should be different, or you should add this, or this isn't good, or whatever. And I'm like, guys, it's a growing boy. Like, this plant is a growing boy. Like, let him grow. He might grow out of that naturally, but like, let the work and the soul of the work be the one to decide. So that's kind of why I'm talking about the project arriving and demanding my time, like I talk about it. I've been thinking a lot about numbers. I have an interest in numerology. I am very interested in the tarot, and I think that that looking at the tarot through the numbers are really interesting. I've always been very interested in math. I've been watching a lot of like documentaries about geometry, legends, and taking YouTube courses that professors so generously put up during COVID, and I'm sitting in the back of the classroom brushing out my college calculus knowledge and crying on graph paper. Math has really come back into my life in this really interesting way that's so connected with spirituality, which of course math is connected with spirituality. The history of it is so intertwined until you get to periods of times when they were ripped apart. And I'm fascinated at the kind of revolutions that we're seeing in pockets of math and science and spiriting numbers, and almost looking at numbers like I look at art projects, like the plants, and what they can tell us and what's inside of them. And so I am exploring that in a ton of different ways. One of them will be writing this album, and the other way is designing my tarot deck, which has been, knocking around in my brain for quite a while. I have many sketches and paintings and ideas of what I would design if I ever did design a tarot deck, and the call is coming that it's time, and that these things are very connected. So I'm moving in that direction with this project, and I'm very excited about it. So what does that mean in terms of what School of PEP is going to look like is a great question, and I really don't know the answer. This project, I think it's amazing that this project has come to me in the midst of me designing this world that exists within the vocabulary of an elementary school, because it feels so elementary school to be like, I'm designing the visuals of the cards in art class, I'm writing the songs in music class, I'm doing the equations and like figuring out the math around it in math class. It feels so interdisciplinary, which is my bread and butter. It's everything I love. I remember when I was in middle school, I went to like a magnet arts middle school, where we painted our lockers. That was like a big draw. And we had dance class instead of gym class. That was another big draw. And I remember like writing a song to understand the ways that nutrients and water traveled through tree trunks. And do I remember it now? No, I don't. I don't remember the song, but that's okay. But I feel like I'm coming back to my roots in a sense, doing this in this way. And then I'm also like right now, I'm thinking about how when I was in college, I did a radio piece where I had experts in physics and Buddhist philosophy and math come together and talk about how the world might work. And we saw that they each had kind of shades of different worldviews, but there was something very central to all of these perspectives. Because the closer you look at the world, I just think what we see is not so different. And I'm really excited about the idea of just taking life and the experience of life and putting it under a microscope for fun and putting it out there and inviting anybody to watch me do it. I don't think it's a necessarily pleasant and awesome all the time process to do that. I don't think we should all be doing it. But I definitely am going to do it, and have been, and will continue. And I'm finding, I feel a fire for doing just that. And I just am very happy to invite anyone along for the ride. So I wake up and find my mind's already on the numbers. Pluto carried me here like a bride, because it was the weekend that Pluto ingressed into Aquarius that I kind of was like scribbling out equations I didn't know I remembered from AP math classes in high school, you know? And I don't even know. Oh, I don't want to talk about the math too much right now, because the truth is I'm so lost. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm looking at different types of geometries, non-Euclidean geometries, and geometries that kind of operate within different planes. And that's the most I'm able to explain it at the moment. Who knows if math class will ever even happen. I don't know if anyone has an interest in studying geometry with me. But English class is coming, a book report. I'm reading the book The Gaia Girls. And even though that has nothing to do with numbers, it has to do with the earth. And the earth and the numbers are very connected, because the earth is where we are, all of us, and is in need of help. That's the premise of The Gaia Girls, which is a book by this person whose name I can't remember, but you've written a beautiful book. I read it as a kid with my mom, and I got a copy of it a few months ago, and I'm almost done with it now. The premise is that there's a girl named Elizabeth who is maybe 10 to 12, and she lives on a farm in Maine, I believe, in the United States. And there's a factory farm coming in and buying up property in her neighborhood, buying up all the farms around her. And her best friend's family is moving to Florida to work in the headquarters of this company. And she's distraught about this, and she's going through this big change in her life, and suddenly she meets a talking otter. You heard me right. The otter is named Gaia, and she is the spirit of the earth, using extreme focus to appear to this girl as an otter. And the girl is given the powers of the earth. She can listen through the trees. She can travel through root systems. She can make the ground move. And I don't know what she does yet. I don't remember. So that's all I'll give you, because who knows what the conclusion is, and probably shouldn't spoil it anyway. But I think it's all of us. We're all called right now with what's going on in Palestine with what's going on in, the river outside of my house, what's going on when you're walking through the streets and you see people suffering, every one of those moments is a call. And we all have our own individual response to the call. And I think this is mine. So, very excited about it. I'm posting another video today, so if you see this, you can also see that video that goes on the music class assignment for this week, which is writing breakup songs to the curses of our life. That's talking about the fives of the tarot, the number 5 and what it's teaching us and asking of us. I keep having mail get lost when I send it, and it feels much like a curse. And I told my boyfriend that the mail would arrive where we needed it to arrive the moment I started writing the song about it. I was like, I gotta get myself up out of bed and writing this song, because as soon as I start writing it, I just know the mail's gonna get there. And it did. I wrote the first 4 lines that morning, and then I get a text. It's like, oh, everything's fine. Mail has arrived. Of course, and obviously. So yeah, there's quite a magic to looking at your problems in your own unique but really embodied way. And here we are. I guess that's really what School of PEP is. So thanks for being here so far. This was kind of fast, but it's mostly just to say, what's going on? What's gonna happen next? Yeah, I'm just so excited, and I hope you guys are willing to come along with me. So let's go, and next up, we'll be designing some 5 cards for a future tarot deck with my friend Teresa. Maybe talking about glass, because she knows everything and I know nothing. She was telling me about a type of rock. I'll put some information right here about it. But a type of rock formation that comes from lightning striking sand. Guys, have you ever thought about the fact that lightning strikes sand and that makes a rock? Okay. Anyway, I should really go, and I'm going to go. I'm like, should I play you out? I don't want to give away too many of my little songs. I mean, you're gonna see me writing them all, but still, some mystery, right? I guess I'll sing us out with our song that we always sing. Go be magic. Here's some permission for you. Go be magic. Go be magic. Here's some permission for you. Go be magic. Go be magic. Here's some permission for you. Go be magic. Go be magic. Here's some permission for you. Go be magic.